to a couple of company options, and let's start with Shimano, which of course is a Japanese company. It's mainly involved with the manufacture and sale of bicycle components. So as far as I know, you won't normally see a bicycle that's got Shimano on it, but pretty much all of the parts, they're about the 75% share of that market, and that is a big part of their business. So it is Japanese, as I've mentioned, and they are also involved in fishing equipment. I remember, you know, the little reels and things, the ones that go whoop, whoop, whoop at the front. But let's get a sense of scale. We're talking about a company here listed in Tokyo, so you've got to work out the yen to US dollar conversion, but it's about a $13.8 billion company, so fairly small, but not tiny, tiny. Price to earnings ratio 31, dividend yield of 0.91. Tell us more about the company and specifically the products. Tremendous stuff, right? They're a very innovative company. They've done a lot for the bicycle industry over the years.
Very much so. Really the mainstay of the component sector of the cycling industry.
Cogs, gears, freewheelers, brakes.
Correct. And their pedals, which are called SPD, they've almost become like the Hoover.
That's clipless stuff.
That's correct. Clip-in pedals. And the SPD system, which stands for Shimano's pedaling dynamics, has almost become the standard. It's really the global leader. So what you've got is this is almost the most pure play of the stocks that we're talking about in terms of capitalizing on the cycling industry boom. And I think you can see it in the rating of the stock, very highly rated. And as I say, if you look a little bit longer in the longer trend, it's done really, really well.
So if you go back to a 15-year chart, you can see it really flies. Let's have a look at the 5-year chart, because that's our normal default. It doesn't look too bad. So you can see it's kind of come up, but you're right, it came up off a longer base over a longer period. And that's because of the booming in bike sales and just generally like their professionalization. And people use these parts in high-end bikes, so other manufacturers basically specify their stuff in the final production.
Correct. And they tend to get a little bit monopolistic, these companies, because there's this big thing about whether their parts are interchangeable with other parts or not. And they tend to be not. So you almost have to, the OEMs have to equip the whole bike with Shimano, and that's typically what you see. And so they've got a very big drive into the bike market with all the manufacturers, the brand owners are all the well-known, that they either go with Shimano or not. It's as an all or nothing type of approach.
Because the competitors, according to my notes, are SRAM, which is a US company, and then Campagnolo, right?
Those are the big component, correct.
And look, this is a family-controlled company. I see that it was started in 1921 by a fellow called Shozuburos Shimano, and the current CEO is a guy called Yozo Shimano, so obviously there's that going on.
Correct.
But is there any reason to be chasing it, getting into it? I mean, the rating's still fairly high. I guess if you had a very positive view on the future of biking generally, you'd want to own this one?
Correct. This, as I say, is the most pure play of the stocks on the cycling aspect in that investment theme. The issue here is the rating. I think it's really, really high, and it's all that hype has gone into the stock price. And the softness in the market recently has hurt the recent stock performance.
Obviously a well-established and well-run company, almost 100 years old. It's got its production facilities in China, which you'd expect, and some in Malaysia and a couple of other places. They've exited a couple of other sub-markets like golf and snowboarding. They still have a little bit in autos and rowing, interestingly. So obviously some element of the rowing contraptions that you use.
80% of the business is cycling and 20% is rowing and fishing. And that's it. So as I say, it's really that cycling element.
Have a special show about the fishing industry and put Shimano
They most probably do,
So on closer examination, it sounds as though you're a little bit concerned about the rating, and you think maybe it's a little bit elevated. There'd probably be a yen-dollar kind of thing here as well, and I must say I've never been able to keep my head around that trend either.
Yes, a weak yen, of course, would favour it, but they've got manufacturing really spread out around the world, so I think they're isolated.
So you're going to lean not hot on this one?
I like the company, but too highly rated.
There'd also be an accessibility issue. I haven't really looked, but you would have to see if there was an ADR traded in the US market, and there probably is. Okay, so we're going to go not hot on that one, but an interesting company all the